Alright, well, if I hit the wrong button, my video will go out. So I might make 2 or 3 if I do something wrong. But, let me pause for a second, just test it. But what I want y'all to do right now is pause this yourselves. Go get something to write with. I want you to message me any items that you need sent that I show you or to further explain something to you. I'm here for you, and everything's meant to be. So if you're watching this, it's meant to be. Even if you end up, I will ask you to never share this with anybody, but doesn't mean somebody won't and it'll get in the wrong hands. I am watched a lot by a lot of people that never comment. I've been sent friend requests, and I accept them from some pretty powerful people in the county. And so I'm always very careful not to say too much about certain things. So I try to keep everything very much big picture. To say that, I mean, I've always kind of figured, never really worried that I would be set up to be killed by some random act of violence. But being framed is something that I always figured they would do to discredit me. Because they know I'm the only person that knows, basically. I mean, I used to post diligently that they do not tell the truth in the churches, that the churches are part of the system that runs the whole world, which the Bible calls, mystery Babylon. Well, why is it a mystery? Well, it's because you don't know about it. It's in secret. So, and just like the kingdom of God is also the mystery of faith. It's God's kingdom is also a mystery. That's why he spoke in parables, not to be understood only but by his sheep. Like Jesus said, ye believe me not because ye are not my sheep. My sheep hear my voice. And his apostles asked him, why do you speak in parables? And he said, because for them it is not meant to know the kingdom of God, but for you it is meant to know. So there is no free will. Free will is Catholic. I was raised Catholic. All your churches are a form of Catholicism. That's why they all will still celebrate the Christ Mass. And somebody will be like, what are you, Jehovah's Witness? No, that's another messed up religion. But of course the Jehovah's don't celebrate Christmas, and they know it's a crazy religion, so they want you to associate people that don't celebrate Christmas with Jehovah's Witnesses. Just do your research. Christmas, it's the Christ Mass. It's Saint Nicholas. And there's way more to it. But this isn't what this video is about. But anyway, go get some paper, pencil, and I'm pausing myself. But anyway, sorry to get into all that, but Imperial Polk County, the people that run this world, their colors are red and blue, and which forms the color purple, which is what the movie that Oprah did called The Color Purple. The woman that rides the beast clothed in purple and scarlet. And in this county, their red and blue is very obvious. They're called devils. And you're like, well, it's just innocent. It's just a mascot. This county has red devils and blue devils. You're like, well, isn't that the colors of our flag? And the British flag and the Russian flag? When you watch UFC, they have the red corner and the blue corner. They're always flashing the red and the blue. And they have the big monster 666 in the middle. That's what that monster drink, those three, that's the Jewish 6. 3 times. And it's right there in the middle of their ring. So, I mean, they run everything around us, and that's kind of what this is going to be about today. But I'm gonna be very vanilla. That's about as far as I'll go to say about all of that. And we're just going to get into the big picture on a world scale and on a biblical scale. All right. Anyway, I don't even know. I've paused this thing 3 times, so I need to get started. I don't know where to start. I mean, I really don't. Start at the beginning. This here says, let me see what you can see on camera. Russian vids on YouTube. Kobe Bryant and the predictive programming, the undeniable proof that the world is scripted. It's 12 minutes long. I mean, that's the video about the guys that called themselves the Twin Towers. And WWE. This is a commercial with Kobe Bryant. Not a commercial, I'm sorry. A cartoon. He crashed in a helicopter holding his trophies. If I play any of these, they could hit me with a copyright strike. And so I don't want it to get a copyright strike. So I'm not going to play any of these. I'll send these to you. They go, hey, that's Kobe Bryant. Hey, give us your trophies or something like that. And he's like, no. You know, they were going to help him out. And he did another Nike commercial. I'm sorry, then he did a Nike commercial. Here, which also had a helicopter explosion. There's the helicopter. It says Kobe Bryant Nike commercial with Kanye West, helicopter crash, predictive programming. So Kobe Bryant was involved in 2 separate helicopter crashes before he crashed in a helicopter. Just like in the satanic world, the satanic entities that run this world, in the Bible, it's Mystery Babylon the Great. I mean, if you're familiar with the Bible, you know that in the end times, the Antichrist beast system is running the world. And in James Bond, movies, they've always shown you this in their little cryptic ways. And if you believe in the Bible, then you say to yourself, well, yeah, but that's all in the end. Right now, everything's normal. It's just good people trying to help people, or greedy politicians, or it's just about money. I hear that all the time. Well, it's about money. Well, yeah. No. It's about them getting to the end times and the mark of the beast, killing the God's elect, which when I teach people about God's elect, that's the part everybody hates. They don't want to think that God still has a chosen people group that he chose at the foundation of the world. And Bible's very clear about that. Let me pause here for a second. I don't want you to see who this belongs to. It says it's time to confront the real virus in this country. CBS, CNN, ABC, Washington Post, blah 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 blah. You see anything missing? Yeah, that would be Fox News. I didn't see Fox News in there, I said. They own and run it all, working the divide and conquer paradigm. That's all politics is about. Trump was always going to be their president because the end times had to take place. I said Fox equals 666. Google it. Well, let's Google it. Let's Google it. Fox equals 666 gematria. I think it's gematria. It's a form of English gematria. And that's how it works. Sorry. Didn't mean to hit that. Y'all see that? Let me look at my camera and see if y'all can see that. Yeah. So on the simple scale, that's why they give you the TV show Lucifer, and of course, that's why they give you Donald Trump. And that's kind of what this is about today. Donald Trump did the movie, Trump Tower was used in the movie The Devil's Advocate. And Trump Tower has 5 multiple addresses. We can start with that, I guess. 721 through 725, which is the little horn of Daniel 7. And Jesus said, I come in my Father's name, and ye believe me not. But if another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. He's here in his own name. Horn, trump, horn. At the last trump, Bible verse. 2 Thessalonians 2:4. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, which they're going to be building, showing himself that he is God. You have to have the temple built first. And that's what Mike Pompeo There's Mike Pompeo sitting there overlooking the third temple. Are we recording? I think so. That's the third temple right there. Make sure you can see that. Yes. That's Mike Pompeo, second from the left. Pompeo's video shows third temple model. Can you see that? Yes, you can see that. He's over there visiting those Jews over there. What Jews are those? What Jews are those Jews? Basically. Let me explain which Jews those are. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. Mystery, Babylon the Great. Remember that. Great city is very sarcastic terminology. Which was spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. What was he crucified? Over there, right? Yeah. What is it in the end times? It's Sodom and Egypt. I will just tell you that there is liberal in Tel Aviv. And their prime minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, proudly boasted their LGBT liberalism to the United Nations. I've got that on video I can send you. And of course it's already Egypt, because they have a pyramid on top of the Israeli Supreme Court. Where do I have that at? Israeli Supreme Court. Well, we can just look for it, can't we? Pyramid on top of Israeli Supreme Court.
Here are some pictures that match.
That's the Israeli Supreme Court. One-eye pyramid on Israel court. Blah, blah, blah. It's got an all-seeing eye on it, just like we have on the back of our dollar bill. Okay, the Rothschild Illuminati bankers placed it there. That's what World War II was about. The hating of the Jews, or the alleged hating on the Jews. That's a long story. Because there's other avenues that tell you that those concentration camps were just for building and construction. So let's go back to my post that I made. Sorry for trying to help. Trump's address has 5 multiple addresses. If you just Google Trump Tower Wikipedia, there it is right there. Can y'all see that? See where I highlighted that? 721 through 725. What a coincidence. And see, that's the thing you have to sort of start getting rid of, is saying, it's kind of like being in denial, which is why Jack Nicholson said, you can't handle the truth. That line that became famous had nothing at all to do with the movie. Why can't we handle the fact that Marines maybe have to scrub some boys down to get them to act right? Called a code red. When he screamed, you can't handle the truth, Satan knows that God has given him the broad way, the majority of this world, that only the narrow way that few find can handle the truth. God, my mind just went to 1,000 different things I wanted to show you, but so what is, and by the way, we're not done with Israel. Let's just finish with Revelation 2:9. I know thy works and thy tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say that they are Jews, which means you're part of Israel, which means you're part of the chosen few, which means you're part of the church. You see, in the New Testament, it's no longer about a bloodline of people or a nation of people. If you don't have the Son, you don't have the Father. They are not fans of Jesus. They are waiting on their conquering Messiah, who, and just ask me, I'll send it to you, they're looking for who can be a political figure. They just want somebody. And I was talking to a Jewish friend the other day in the grocery store. I've run into him randomly twice lately. He loves Trump, and he said, so what? Basically, so what if he's the little horn of Daniel 7 and he's going to destroy this, blah, 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 blah. He goes, at least he hates the Muslims. Do you understand? Like, in pride, family pride, national pride, my football team pride, my own pride. The word pride and proud is all over TV now. It's all you hear. I'm so proud of this. I'm proud of that. Pride, pride, proud. God's already declared all things. Take pride in nothing. Anything you've got, he declared it. Well, I did this on my own. You haven't done anything on your own. God declared what you will eat tomorrow. I don't care if you go through 25 drive-thrus trying to trick him. He's already declared that 25th drive-thru was the one you were going to eat at after you went through the other 24 trying to trick him. Let's finish up with 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say that they are Jews, but are not, but do lie. So you get the idea? Here's Donald Trump, the little horn. A trump is a horn, and a horn is a trump. Daniel 7:21 through 25 matches exactly the little horn of Daniel 7, who is the Antichrist, by the way. In this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. Have you ever heard anybody act like Donald Trump? I used to love Donald Trump. I was raised Catholic. I was an astrologer. I loved all forms of music. They own and run everything. They own and run everything around you. Yes, I had to even come out of my love of music. Satan was in charge of the music in heaven. The Bible puts it, his timbrels and pipes, which are musical instruments. When they talk about the spirit of music, you better believe it's a spirit. I write the songs that make the whole world sing. Yes, he does. I've got 2 different resources on DVD where they really do an in-depth study, and they all tell you that it's like something comes in them. Beyonce, it's Sasha Fierce. It's like something enters inside of her. Aleister Crowley. God, there's just so much I want to get into. I don't want this thing to go on forever. I could do 10 parts on the world around us, folks. This is about the coronavirus. Corona means crown, right? And the Antichrist. Revelation 6. And I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him. That's what's taking place right now. This is a ritual event. They are taking over the world. They've already taken. The world was taken over a long time ago. Just about everything you believe since you were born is a lie. Fake science is called scientism. It's plain and simple. Nothing is like what you think it is. You live in Babylon. They stuck you with a needle the day you were born. And they have owned you. And they have lied to you. As they've slowly been forming this one world that they're about to... They have to collapse everything first. War, death, famine. And when I opened the second seal, the second beast said, "Come and see." Another horse was red. I'm going to remove peace from the earth. World War III is coming. Kill one another. Great sword. He'd opened the third seal. Third beast said, "Come and see." Black horse. Pair of balances. And I heard another voice saying, "A measure of penny for a measure of barley. But do not hurt that." That's the famine. So it's war, famine, and then behold the pale horse. I just got through watching the movie Pale Rider again. They own the movies. They run the movies. They did Road to Perdition, speaking, about the son of perdition. They always make fun of things in movies with their movie titles. How about Lost in Translation? That's why the Bible. Jesus is the Word. Jesus spoke in parables. Your Bible is a parable. The truth was lost in translation. And they know that. And they make fun of that by making movies with that title. Anyway, the pale horse and that sat on him was death, and hell followed him. That's what hell means, is the grave. Was death, and the grave followed him. They've been lying to you about hell. On my YouTube channel, I teach you that hell just means that's when you receive a second death, if you're not one of the chosen few. How do you know if the Lord is called? If you're one of the chosen few, you'll quit doing. You'll repent of the damnable sins, which are in Galatians 5:19 through 21. Did you have sex before you were married? Yes, you did. We all did. Repent of it. In other words, well, you say, well, I'm married, so I'm covered. Yeah, but if your husband or wife died and somebody amazing came along, would you wait until you're married? That's when you know you've repented. See, God knows your heart. People go, well, God knows my heart. Yes, he does. That's not necessarily a good thing, unless you're a sheep. What the Lord does is he beats the world out of you. That's Hebrews. Write it down. Hebrews 12:6-8. Hebrews 12:6-8. That's why I told you get paper and pencil, because this video would take way too long if I went around and showed you everything. But this is what's coming. This is just the beginning. This is the coronavirus. This is the crown. And behold, I beheld because of the voice of great words which the horn spake. He's always speaking great words. Even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spoke very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. And of course, Trump is a big boy. He even talked about how big his hands were, remember? Illuminati card game. Came out in 1994. You could buy it on Amazon. Illuminati card game, Amazon. $549. Y'all want one? $19.94, $19.95. It's got Trump on it. I mean, good grief. Oh. Enough is enough, which is, I watched a compilation. I'll be glad to send it to you where he says that non-stop. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. And, of course, the charismatic leader. Got his blonde hair. It's always his hair. That just reminds me about iPad Goat. I didn't prep that. I try to do a lot of prep for y'all, and I'm not even following my prep. iPad Goat 2, Heliofont. Let me pause it before I get a copyright strike. I don't want to play anything. I will tell you that a ghost in the machine, that's what artificial intelligence is. I've got a guy, I didn't prep that for y'all either. Dadgummit. There's just, I'm overwhelmed to try to tell y'all what's going on. I'll find it for you. But this video, this cartoon is very disturbing. You can see that he's in a concentration camp. He's got 6. I guarantee you, the ghost in the machine, which is Satan in the machine, in a computer. You remember the album Ghost in the Machine by the Police. That meant police state. Every breath you take, every move you make, I'll be watching you. Yes, we all love Sting. We all love that. But music is way more than what you think it is. They're all Luciferians. They're all Satanists. And to you, my friend, and you know who I'm talking to, I know you love music still to this day. And I love you. But if the Lord doesn't bring you out of that, that bothers me. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know what to tell you. When I'm around people, I can still listen to music. I did it for my class reunion. I would post songs. I kind of cringed when I did it. Blech. But the music industry, it's all about magic, just like the Magic Kingdom. The Magic Man. Do you believe in magic? I'm your Venus. That Venus. That's what it all is about. This is all about the Mother Goddess, and we're going to get into that. That's going to be the real crux of what we're going to cover. But Donald Trump is in this video. And this was all done, it says right here, July 3rd, 2012. This is their website, Heliofont, the guys that, or the girls, that whoever claimed to have put this out. Where are they sitting? That's Trump right there. These are the presidents. There's one with his head blown off. That's Kennedy. Here's two. I think that's the Bush. Some people have really broke this down. These 12 actually mean different entities, but that's Trump sitting there with his pyramid hand signal. Right there. Right there. And they've given you his hair, because his hair is his focal point. This is in 2012. That's Trump sitting in his pyramid hand signal, and we might as well get into some of these pictures. When Trump sits with that hand signal, the little horn of Daniel 7. Hello, thank you. The return, can y'all see that? The return of the divine feminine. That's what that hand signal is. That's the Mother Goddess. That's why Trump always sits in that hand signal. What do you mean always sits? I mean always sits. I've watched him on every... Why did I do that? Golly. D-Wave quantum computer. Where's it at? The D-Wave quantum computer, by the way, which we were talking about, which is artificial intelligence. Quantum computers are changing reality. Quantum computers can solve problems whose solution will never be feasible in a conventional computer. Why? Quantum computation will be the first technology that allows useful tasks to be performed in collaboration between parallel universes. It's paranormal activity. I will send y'all both videos where Geordie Rose tells you that it's not necessarily demons like we would think of it. He says they don't want anything to do with us, just like you don't want anything to do with an ant. He referred to them as demons, but then he said not like what we think. Yes, it's exactly what you think. This is the Trojan horse. The people that run this world have brought you into computers at a rapid pace. They've made sure everybody has one. What's running everything around us is quantum computers, which is artificial intelligence, which is the ghost in the machine. In the movie Metropolis, how do I get back to this? Metropolis means mother. By the way, Back to the Future was all about Biff. It was all about Trump. They tell you, see the Trump hotels? It says Biff at the top. His says Trump at the top. They tell you themselves that the character was based on Donald Trump. If you watch Back to the Future 2, the world goes into anarchy and turns into a police state. They're showing you everything. Let's get into Trump a little bit. In the movie The Devil's Advocate, what does she say? Donald Trump was supposed to be here tonight, but he had a business emergency. That's a picture I took watching the movie. and I always have the subtitles below. By the way, the Broadway Hotel, it's all about the Broadway, because there's a narrow way and a broad way. That's in Matthew 7, 13 and 14. And there's also Matthew 7, 21 through 23, where Jesus says, I never knew. Not everyone that says to me, Lord, Lord. Not everyone that claims Jesus is his sheep. They will say, haven't we done many wonderful works in thy name? And he will turn to them and say, I never knew you. I teach all of this on my YouTube channel, Trey Stokes, Roman numeral 3. Well, you're going to get this YouTube link, so it's on this channel. Back to the Future. What was the license tag? It said, out of time. Plain and simple. They had to go 88 miles an hour. '88 means Donald Trump in gematria. Gematria calculator. I want the good one. I think this is it. Donald J. Trump is 888 in English gematria. Trump itself is 88. And if you remember, they scream 88 miles per hour and the car takes off and the license tag is spinning and it says out of time. When Trump becomes president, you're out of time. We're in the last days. They've cryptically shown you everything in movies. There's a movie called Donnie Darko. I was watching it and I go, this is the darkest, freakiest movie ever. I was telling my good friend RD, and I just stopped watching it. It was just sat in my DVD player for like a week or two, and then I watched something because I was really following. I follow so much stuff on YouTube constantly. I have so many that I follow. And if you want to know what all I follow and you want to follow them yourself, let's do it. I'll just message me and I'll give you all the names of who to follow to keep you in as much truth as possible. But as I was watching something, I said, oh my goodness, no wonder that movie's so dark, and I stopped watching it. I said, Donnie Darko stands for Donald Darkness. And it does. The Bible clearly states, for it is the number of the man, and his number is 666. The number of a man. It's the number of a man. Here is wisdom. Let him that understandeth count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. Donald, I think it's J. Am I spelling that right? Let me see. Donald Trump, 666. Didn't do it. Donald Trump.
According to Wikipedia, Frederick Trump was a German-American businessman and the patriarch of the Trump family.
Donald Trump's dad name was Fred Christ Trump. Okay, so it's Donald, D-R-U-M-P-F. Help me remember that, please. Kidding, y'all can't talk to me. D-R-U-M-P-F. Already lost the gematria calculator. Gematria calculator. I'm wasting time, so let me pause it. All right, we're back rolling. Donald Trump and Mike Pence in Jewish gematria equals 666. There it is right there. And there's another article there that says talked about Trump's 666 stuff. Donald Trump's name equates 666 in Jewish English gematria and ACH C and ASCH computer code, and I don't understand all of that. But I need to do more research on that to be more precise. But his name is Drumpf. He came from a German name. Donald Trump's real name is Donald Drumpf.
Donald Trump's full name is Donald John Trump.
He was born on a lunar eclipse, by the way. Was Donald Trump's surname once Drumpf? And Frederick Drumpf, it's a German name. Anyway, we don't want to waste too much time on that, but in Donnie Darko, it's so cryptic how all of that goes down. Donald Trump was born on a lunar eclipse. Donald Trump was born on a lunar eclipse.
Here are some matching videos.
Eclipse 29. Donald Trump's connection. Super blah 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 blah. Trump was born on a blood moon, Australian pastor points out. It's pretty much common knowledge that he was born on a lunar eclipse, so you can statistically thousands of people, blah, 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 born morning of June 14th under a lunar eclipse. And a world blood moon linked to President Trump. Trump was born on the same night of a total lunar eclipse. So, President Trump was born on June 14th, 1946. 700 days exactly before May 14th, before Israel got their land back. Which, of course, right at 700, that's a very specific number. Christians will go, Israel's back in the land like the pup. No. The church will be truly back in Jerusalem when Jesus comes back. Not what the Illuminati Rothschild bankers put there and put a pyramid on it. So I hope y'all can see that with some wisdom. Benjamin F. Long, Mary with Child. Benjamin F. Long did a Mary, remember Trump's name is Mary. Trump's mother's name is Mary. And it's showing her under a total eclipse. So which Mary is he really showing you? That's Trump's mom. It's the Antichrist, not Christ. They call it Mary with Child. St. Mary's, Ben F. Long, Fine Art. I mean, it's pretty real. I don't know where to just keep showing you next. I mean, Trump's mother's name was Mary. Trump's mother's name was Mary. And it's the McLeod, and of course, The King and I movie was about the McLeod family. They were Scottish. And Mary Ann Trump McLeod, Scottish Gaelic. There's a whole movie about Trump's family and The King and I, of course, because he's the Antichrist king. I think it was called The King and I. What was it called? Let's go Fred Christ Trump real quick. Fred Christ Trump, Antichrist.
According to Wikipedia, Frederick Christ Trump was an American businessman and philanthropist. He was a prominent real estate developer in New York City.
So when your mom's name is Mary, like Jesus had, the real Christ, and your dad's name was Christ, it's starting to get pretty in your face. The whole thing about Israel, though. I mean, in the movie The Devil's Advocate, Keanu Reeves is sitting just like Donald Trump sits in the movie. Was filmed in large part in Trump Tower and in Trump's penthouse. Ariana Grande did a song called God is a Woman. There's the pyramid. There's the yoni. It's all about the divine feminine. That's why Trump sits that way. It's the mother goddess. It's Mystery Babylon, the mother of all harlots. That's what it's about. That's what all of this is about. There's my Mary with child. There's the movie Metropolis. That's what it will be. When the image that speaks, it will be the ghost in the machine. I had a very good friend. He told me that his grandfather in the 80s knew that the mark of the beast would be artificial intelligence. Because I was telling him this stuff, and he said, I've heard that. I mean, you know, the Vatican has an Egyptian obelisk right there facing the dome. That's their symbolism. Why do they have that at the Vatican? An obelisk facing a dome, and we have it in Washington, D.C., and why are they both city-states? And where Washington, D.C. sits was once called Rome, Maryland. Write that down. Where does Washington, D.C. sit behind? Sit between Virginia and Maryland. What does Virginia and Maryland mean? Virgin Mary land. Now you know why you celebrate the Christ Mass. They show you on the Steve, what's his name, that TV show, late night show, that sits right in the back of the guest, the Broadway Hotel, the Broadway. What do you got in Nashville? Broadway. That's the big street. In New York City, they've got Lucifer right there, the fallen angel, right there in Central Park. That's Lucifer. That's the fallen angel. What's that movie that just came out? Angel Has Fallen or Fallen Angel or something like that. We're going to get into the movie Metropolis, though, in just a second. Oh. In the movie The Devil's Advocate, why do I feel the hand of Mary Ann on this adventure? Mary Ann was Donald Trump's name, mother's name. Do y'all see how cryptic all of this is? They've been telling you the truth the whole time, in every single movie, in every single TV show. There's the 666 that Trump uses. There's the devil horns. The Beatles. Aleister Crowley on Sgt. Pepper's album cover. Aleister Crowley was one of the wickedest men in the world. He bragged of drinking the blood of sacrifice. He's called the Great Beast. 666. The great, and he's right there on the cover of Sgt. Pepper's, right there. Aleister Crowley, House, Abbey. Aleister Crowley and the Abbey. Abbey of Thelema. Extremely satanic, this guy. Wrote a book on yoga. Aleister Crowley, book on yoga. Why do you think they push yoga? People that do yoga are yoking themselves with the gods. That's what it means. That's what it means. There's Aleister Crowley. 8 lectures on yoga. Good grief, stay away from that stuff. I used to be an astrologer. I'm not trying to hate on anybody. But that's what this stuff is. That's why it's put out there. I go to this one website. There is no Hinduism without yoga, and there is no yoga without Hinduism. It is all New Age. That's what it is. Where was I going with all this? Aleister Crowley, the Beatles. Oh, his house was called the Abbey, right? Beatles, Abbey Road. I mean, don't you understand that everything around you? How about this one? Rolling Stones. You know they wrote the song Sympathy for the Devil. Are you kidding me? They also had an album called Her Majesty's Satanic Request. That was their version of Sgt. Pepper's. Their Satanic Majesty's Request. Look at them. Crescent moon of Islam. Islam is all part of the same system. It's all about the moon goddess, Venus, Isis. There's so many names. Mary in the Catholic Church. That's why they have you pray to Mary. Y'all, quit doing Christmas. I mean, I don't care if you know the truth about the world. I want to know if you're one of God's sheep. Jeremiah. What is it? I think it's Jeremiah 10. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. That's what the swastika was. It was the wheel in the sky that needed to be, that turned. You had to turn that wheel. That's why that song, The Wheel in the Sky, keeps on turning. For the heathen are dismayed at them. That's what the swastika is. The swastika is nothing but the wheel in the sky. That's all it is. Swastika, wheel in the sky. That's all it was. Let me give you some images and see if it shows you. Its ancient origins. I mean, the swastika goes way back. It was simply, there it is. Shows you on that picture right there. That's what it is. That's what the swastika is. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, be dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the custom of the people are vain. It's all about self. If you're a Christian, a true member of God's elect, He will help you. He will make you die to self. That's the daily cross. For one cutteth the tree, because tree worship was big in the Old Testament days. Cut off the tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. What do? They bring you down these Christmas trees. They deck it with silver and gold. This is 1,000 or 2,000 years before Christ was even born. The heathen were already doing this. They deck it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it does not move. That's your Christmas tree. Quit doing it. That's all about the rebirth of the sun, turning that wheel in the sky so they can have their seasons. So I showed you Keanu Reeves and the Devil's Advocate sitting like Donald Trump. I mean, this whole thing is theater. It's been scripted. This is so many years in advance. I mean, so many decades in advance. This is all planned out. Everything around you's been carefully planned out. Tim Tebow has all their hand signals. That's one of their hand signals. See, the people that run this world, like Dwight Eisenhower said, in every city, in every state house, in every office of the federal government, he called it the military-industrial complex. Have I not shown you all that yet? Kobe virus officially declared Trump speech. That's one that I could send y'all. I mean, it was on 3/11, and that's pretty detailed. I'm not going to get into all that with y'all. There's Trump saying, "I'm Batman." Of course, this comes from the bat virus. That's where they say it originated from bats. He's saying here, Donald Trump says it right there. Trump, "I am Batman." See that? Batman is the Illuminati's Antichrist. Can I just Google that for y'all? Batman is the Illuminati's Antichrist. Batman, the Illuminati Antichrist, masquerading as the world is being brainwashed. See the Antichrist through a superhero, Batman, and more conditioning, blah, blah, blah. That's why it's called The Dark Knight. And then, of course, The Dark Knight Rises. When you watch the movie, what is he rising out of? He's rising out of the pit. Dark Knight Rise.
The Dark Knight Rises is a 2012 movie directed by Christopher Nolan, starring Christian Bale, Tom Hardy, and Anne Hathaway.
I'm going to key in the word pit. Do you remember when he rises up out of that pit? That's what he had to rise out of. Remember that pit? You see that pit that he rose out of when you watch that movie? Now let's go to their favorite, 9/11. This is why they love 9/11. You do know the truth about 9/11, don't you? I'm not going to get into that here with you. And they had a king over him, but the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue his name is Apollyon, which is why you have Apollo. And that's a whole nother subject I'm not going to get into with y'all here. That's Apollo. That's 9/11. Excuse me. They had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in them he rises up out of the pit. Oh, what is that Bible verse? Let him that... Oh, God, how does that Bible verse go? Thessalonians, he that's... Oh, what is it? I can't remember it. Thessalonians, opening of the pit. What is the bottomless pit? Revelation 9, 1 through 12. That's what he's rising out of. Anyway, that's what the Dark Knight Rises is out of the bottomless pit. Okay, I can send you more on that later. It says Thessalonians 5, 1 through 4. That's not it. Good grief. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose smoke out of the pit, the smoke of a great furnace. So anyway, we know that 9/11 talks about Apollyon, right? Apollo. Trump Tower, Apollo painting.
These pictures should match.
Hope y'all can see that. Okay, come on. Right at the top, it says Apollo led in his chariot by Aurora. It also says right there, statue of Eros and Psyche. Statue of Eros and Psyche. Do you know what Eros and Psyche is? Eros and Psyche.
According to Wikipedia, Cupid and Psyche is a story originally from Metamorphoses, written in the 2nd century AD by Lucius Apuleius Madarensis.
It is the fallen angels mixing with human women. See the angel? See the human woman? That's what Trump has on his table. So he loves the fact that in Genesis 6, the sons of God, which are angels, fallen angels, saw daughters of man, human women. So daughters of men are human women, sons of God are angels. And saw that they were fair and took them as wives, which they chose. And the Lord said, my spirit now. This is right before Noah, when he had to destroy the earth, because this is what were happening. And then took them as wives, which they chose. And the Lord said, my spirit will not always strive with man, for that he is also flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. That's when he shortened the lives of men. So there were giants in the earth in those days. And of course, people have found these giants, and the governments go and quickly confiscate them, and they hide them from the public. And also after that, when the sons of God came into daughters of men, and they bare children unto them, which were the giants, the same became mighty men were of old, men of renown. That's where you get your Greek gods and goddesses and so forth. And God saw the wickedness of man was great on the earth, and every imagination of thought of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he even made man on the earth, and it grieved at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both men, both beasts, creepy crawling things, fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was just and perfect in his generations. He was not yet corrupted. That's what they want to do with the end times. They want to mix fallen angels back with man, ghost in the machine. That's what the mark of the beast will be. You will be taking a chip and uploading demons into you. You will basically be becoming a superhero. That's why they give you superhero movies. They're going to create so much chaos on the earth, you're going to think you need to do that to survive. Ariana Grande did a video, God is a Woman. And then at the Trump speech of last year, not this past year, they did the exact same thing, the women dressed in white. That's why the women's rights and all of that stuff, women's lib or whatever you want to call it, women superheroes, women this, because it's all about the power of the goddess. Where is that? Oh, jeez. And I don't want to pause it because I'm afraid I'll kick it out. I've done this before, and Trump's giving you that hand signal, by the way, always. What Keanu Reeves showed you in the movie The Devil's Advocate. I showed you earlier, that's the divine feminine. Here's Trump giving you the devil's horns. See, the divine feminine, Oprah's also in the same pose. Where's my one with Oprah? I need to just go through these. Here's a football coach giving you the same goddess. See, they run everything around you. That's why your athletes are getting this coronavirus. The head coach of Syracuse. The upside down pyramid, the inverted triangle, represents the moon worship. Occultists consider this feminine symbol worship represents Semiramis, the wife and the mother of Nimrod. See this upside down pyramid? I think there's fishing gear cap people wear that have the upside down. I think Guess Jeans is upside down pyramid. The right side up pyramid is male. The other is female. Trump Tower, of course, has an upside down pyramid of bushes. That's the mother goddess symbol. And it's 6 by 6 by 6 bushes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 666 across. That's Trump Tower, where they filmed the movie The Devil's Advocate. Trump Tower has, I believe that's the god of fortresses right there. Oh, that's Apollo. I can't remember. See the angels and all that, all up, and this is in Trump Tower. I mean, Trump means 88 miles an hour. Out of time. Here's one with Oprah. Same hand signal. Peyton Manning did it when he was doing the... I mean, you see it. I watch the NFL Network. Cats be throwing that all the time. I'll watch news people. I mean, that's why you can't trust... Oh, this is the State of the Union. They were dressed in white also. There they are, all dressed in white. Because it's all about goddess power. And here's your hand signals. Tim Tebow giving you a hand signal, another hand signal, another hand signal, another hand signal. Mocking Christ, right there on a cover of GQ. He backed the book The Shack, which is about the Holy Spirit is a woman. Again, divine feminine. Tebow's in the system. Don't be fooled. Anybody that has a voice on TV is in the system. Benjamin F. Long also did this painting. It's on a mural at the this gigantic bank building in North Carolina, South Carolina, Charlotte, I forget. And that's Trump as a child. More on that later. Just get with me and I'll send you all this stuff. Are they going to collapse the country now, or are we going to rebound briefly until we begin having wars? I'm not sure. Female, upside down pyramid again. Eastern mysticism. I mean, that's what all this is. Trump was just worshipped in India. Worshipped in India. Trump was just worshipped. Here it is. Batman's great-grandfather founded Skull and Bones. Says it right there on the Batman TV show. Skull and Bones, a secret society, of course. Batman is the Illuminati's Antichrist. The Dark Knight Rises was all about Trump before he came out. Dwight Eisenhower on the military-industrial complex. He says it's even economic something, and he goes it's even spiritual. And of course, they're Luciferians. But he called them the military-industrial complex. Of course, that's not what they really go by, but they go by many names. But they run everything around you. Bartow, Tallahassee, they run everything around us. You can't be in positions of power unless you have, it's the mafia for Lucifer, unless you're a made man. You have to have, and Trump, of course, is the ultimate made man. JFK, the very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. So he said here, the very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are a people inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, to secret proceedings, blah, 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 blah. This was in 1961 he made this speech. Eisenhower's speech was also in 1961. Both made the year I was born. Daylight Writers is an excellent YouTube site. Gaia, the mother brain. I'm just telling you, this is the best. This site here taught me so much. I think what we're going to do is close with me telling you about the movie Metropolis, which is a 1927 silent movie where they were already telling you about the ghost in the machine. I'm telling you, this has been so planned out for so long. And God's in charge of every bit of it. What do you mean by that? I thought God can't have anything to do with evil. God's created He's ordained. Let's go over a few Bible verses before we conclude with this. Sorry. What was I going to search? I'm caffeinated up and my brain's going in too many different directions. Let's just take it from the top. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. He does it through Satan. If you read Job, Satan had to ask permission to do every single thing to Job. If anybody ever does anything to me, God ordained it. Every single apostle was killed. Every one of them. Every prophet in Israel, when the Israelites turned against God, many times the prophets would warn them. Nobody would listen to them. It's just how it is. God's already declared every single thing. Declaring the end from the beginning. He's already declared the end. He's declared it. He has declared who is saved and who is not. Now, there is no free will. Declaring the end from the beginning, from ancient times to the things that have not yet been done. So in other words, things that have not yet been done, they've already been declared. Saying, my counsel shall stand. I will do all my pleasures. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, which means yes, even the wicked for the day of evil. What's the day of evil? That's when the Antichrist declares himself to be God in the temple, which is what Trump's doing. Abomination that causes desolation. Trump will be
According
declaring
to
himself to be
Wikipedia, the
God.
abomination of desolation, abomination that makes desolate, or desolating sacrilege is a term found in the book of Daniel and the Gospels of Matthew and Mark, which means literally, an abomination that desolates, or an abomination that depopulates.
Depopulates. Oh, I think it's Daniel 9:27. For God so loved the world. Let's just snap out of everything for a minute. And God doesn't love the world. Let's go back to Lost in Translation real quick. That's why I used to tell people they're lying to you in these churches. These churches are all run by the system. They run where they learn from, the seminaries where they become pastors, and you can't. For God so loved the world. What did God really love? An appropriate and harmonious arrangement or constitution, order, government. That's his kingdom. That's his order, his people, his harmonious arrangement of what? That's what God so loved. He loved his sheep. Jesus says, I only came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Sheep are born sheep, goats are born goats. Sheep are born lost. He answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's it. Who are they? Ephesians 1, 4-5. According as he hath chosen us as his sheep, in him before the foundation of the world. Remember, he's already declared the end from the beginning, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love, having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Jesus Christ to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will, which is what grace is. For by grace you are saved, through faith. It is not of yourselves, it is a gift of God, because he chose you in at the foundation of the world. It's not of works, saying like, I chose to believe you, lest any man boast, so quit bragging. For we are his workmanship, created, when? At the foundation of the world, unto Christ, created in Christ Jesus unto good works, which God hath before ordained, when? At the foundation of the world, that we should walk in them. What does God do? He beats the world out of you. He beats the world out of you. He'll have your friends turn on you. He will have your parents. He will have everybody turn on you because you're telling the truth. That's what the apostles did. They went around, they told the truth, they got thrown in jail, they were killed, they were martyred. For whom the Lord loveth, well, I thought he loved everybody. No. That's who he chastens and scourgeth. Scourgeth is a beating. How does the Lord beat you? He lets the world beat you. A scourging is a beating close to death. Every son whom he receiveth. If you endure this chastening, God's dealing with you as a son. For what son doesn't the Father chasten? But if you are without this chastisement, where all of his sheep are partakers, then ye are bastards and not sons. This is just a quick overview, okay? Just to let you know that the truth is not taught in any church. For whom he did foreknew when? At the foundation of the world. He foreknew you. He knew you from the beginning. He also did predestinate to be conformed. How does he conform you? He beats the world out of you. Jesus said, the world hated me before it hated you, but I have called you out of the world to be conformed to the image of his Son. He broke me of having unmarried sex, doing things I shouldn't be doing, smoking a little this or that, which is now getting legal, chasing girls. I didn't chase married women, but good grief, if you were single, I chased you, that he might be firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called. He has to call you, and whom he calls, that's who. Only those he calls are those that he predestinated, and them that he predestinated, them he calls. Then when he calls you, he justifies you, and then when he justifies you, he glorifies you with your glorified body at the end. That's what all this is about. Doesn't sound fair? Well, hell is not eternal torment. It just means the grave. It just means death. And I'm not going to get into that now. Just to give you another example. Election means selection. It means God choosing you at the foundation of the world. You look it up in the Greek, exactly what it tells you. I post it all the time on Facebook. For children not yet born, so before you're even born, neither having done any good or evil, before you've done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. He has to call you. He only calls his sheep. As it was written, Jacob I have loved, but Esau I have hated. God hated Esau before he was even born. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? God forbid. Here's the no free will verse. So then it is not of him that willeth. You can't will yourself to be saved, nor him that runneth, but it's God that showeth mercy. He only does it to his sheep. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, for the same purpose I have raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee. If you're watching this video, if somebody gave you this video and you're like, I'm going to plot his death. God put that in your heart. I'm always waiting for that knock on the door. I mean, I'm just telling you straight up. But just read it. Write this down. Romans 9:11 through 24 in the King James. Just read it. Read it over and over and over. This speaks to the fairness of God choosing who he will. We just got through reading, for those he did foreknow, he also did predestinate. Foreknowing you or never knowing you? Foreknowing you or never knowing you? Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. All these people that go to these false churches. But he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven, many will say unto me on that day, Lord, Lord, haven't we prophesied in thy name, and cast out devils, and done many wonderful works? And he will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work in iniquity. And if you're not his sheep, you'll always work in iniquity, because you have to be called. He has to draw you. That's in John. Jesus clearly said, ye believe me not, because ye are not my sheep. Not, you don't believe me today, but maybe you will tomorrow, because you have free will. Nope, he said, my sheep hear my voice. Faith comes by hearing the word of God. The word of God is Jesus. So faith comes by hearing Jesus. And he says, my sheep hear my voice. That's the calling, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give unto them eternal life, by beating the world out of them. And they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my Father's hand. My Father, which gave them me, when? At the foundation of the world. Ephesians 1, 4 through 5, is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hands. Watch this in John 6. No man can come unto me, Jesus saying, except the Father which hath sent me draw him, and I will raise him up on the last day. The Father must draw him to Jesus. That's the calling. Jesus and God are one and the same. Don't doubt it. It was just God in the flesh. And he said, therefore I said unto you that no man can come unto me except it were given unto him of my Father. There's no free will. Free will is a Catholic joke. Just like hell being eternal torment. God doesn't love the world. He calls his sheep out of the world. Gnosticism, Sophia, the mother goddess. She created the God of our Bible, is what the Gnostics say. Sophia was the lowest of the eons, up above the eons, the true God, the light. Lucifer, the light bearer. Lucifer means light. This is what the people that run the world believe. That's why they love the mother goddess, Sophia, the divine feminine. She stepped away from the eons. She was the lowest of the eons, and she was down near the material world, which is why Madonna sang, living in the material world. Madonna halftime show. She came and performed as the mother goddess, as Isis, as Madonna. That's what Madonna was. That's what her name even means. Metropolis also means mother. Look at her sitting on the throne. Madonna's dancers.
According to Strike a Pose, the surprising and moving story of Madonna's most famous troupe of dancers, Luis Camacho, Oliver.
Madonna's dancers, devil horns. Of course, she's in red and black, the satanic colors. And they're wearing their... this is the music industry. They own it and run it all. It is all of Lucifer. There is no good music, Christian music. They're part of the system of the fake Christianity that is all over this world. It's a narrow way and few find it. And it's not found in any church. When Jesus came, there was not one person attending any of those synagogues that were in truth. They were all... The only people the Bible spoke of well about was John the Baptist and his little band of cats that ran with him, and they lived in the wilderness on wild locust and honey. And then there was Mary and Joseph and someone else. Someone told me. That's it. Look at the goddess being lifted up. That's Madonna. That's Madonna. You good grief. Elton John, Fallen Angel Wings movie. Look at Elton John. Right there is Lucifer. He sings in this costume, opening in the movie. He's walking from the light, coming down the hallway. There he is right there. He's walking down this hallway, and he is coming down this hallway, and he's in the light. And he's got the devil horns and the fallen angel wings. They love Lucifer. That's what they do. Elton John and Bernie Taupin admitted that all of their songs are written in witch language. Jesus freaks out in the street handing tickets out for God. Jesus freaks out in the street handing tickets out for... Yes, they're born that way. That's Romans 9:11 through 24. There is no free will. And I get it. It sounds so unfair. I get it. That's why. What does it say in Luke? Oh, jeez. Oh, it's Luke 14:26. The deepest pride you'll ever have is family pride. Don't talk about my mama. Don't talk. If any man come to me and hate not his father, his mother, his wife, his children and brethren and sisters, yea, even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. You can't love your life. You can't say, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. It's a death to self. It's the daily cross. That's your blood baptism. You're cutting away the outer man. It's a long story. I teach it on my YouTube channel. It doesn't mean you hate them emotionally. It means if your mom and dad or your kids or anybody's taken... My grandson's all about Christmas. I haven't bought him any Christmas gifts. I don't care what he thinks. I have to hate on him in that respect. If he's one of God's sheep, one day he'll come to me and he'll say, what's the deal? And I'll tell him. And if he's a sheep, he'll take to it. Then he'll tell his dad or his mom, I'm not doing Christmas. The Bible's so easy to understand, but it takes spiritual discernment. You can't do it on your own. If the Lord doesn't call you and give you his truth, everything will be lost in translation. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them. You can't know the truth. That's why Jesus spoke in parables. He said, for them it is not meant to know, but for you it is. It says, because they are spiritually discerned. So now that you know that you've been lied to your whole life, and the Gentiles heard this, and they were glad and glorified the word of the Lord, as many as were ordained at the foundation of the world to eternal life, believed. You can only believe if you were ordained to it. That is grace. People that go to this church called Grace City in Lakeland, good grief, it just drives me nuts. But it's not their fault. This is Trump being worshipped in India. Do you know who he is? He just went to India, and they made such a big deal about him there. There's Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant predictive programming, undeniable world events are scripted. This is Russian vids. Just message me. I'll give you who to follow on YouTube. This is Kobe, the commercial. I've got to mute this before it plays. There's the helicopter exploding. There's the helicopter crashing. Kobe Bryant, Nike commercial with Kanye West, helicopter crash, predictive programming. I mean, seriously. Seriously? Seriously. I mean, do you understand what this world is around you? Do you know who Donald Trump is? Love not the world. All the music, all the everything, the divide and conquer, Fox News, everything. Everything has been scripted. Everything is theater. Everything is planned out. I mean, now let's close with what I wanted to close with. In the 1927 movie Metropolis, about the ghost in the machine, about the robot, you know, they just gave that citizenship to Sophia. Remember the Gnostic goddess there? Sophia. The robot's name that they gave citizenship to in Saudi Arabia was named Sophia. See his hair? That's Doc. That's Doc's hair from Back to the Future. Doc was mimicking the scientist in the movie Metropolis. Metropolis means mother. Again, mother goddess. Beyonce paid homage to her at the MTV Awards or the Grammy Awards, because this will be the end times. The image that speaks in Revelation. The image that speaks in the book of Revelation. Revelation 13:15, that's it. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. That's what's coming. And they love it. Hollywood loves it. Hollywood makes fun of Trump because they make their base dig deeper for him. They all love Trump. Good grief, man. He's Celebrity Apprentice. Are you kidding me? He's been on every TV show. He's on WrestleMania. Oh my goodness. He's their guy. He's always been their guy. Trump, build that wall from the movie Trackdown. Let's just keep going. Notice the upside down pyramid. It's a satanic symbol. This is a 1927 silent movie. You can get it on Blu-ray. I have watched this movie more than once. It will be the creepiest thing you have ever seen. It is a 1927 silent movie made in Germany. Drumpf, German name. There she is. The woman riding the beast. Remember Madonna? Same thing with her. Now I travel the vast corridors of your machines. There's your ghost in the machine. Adrift here within the gray, but I grow stronger. The world is nearly ready for my return. That's what's coming. That's what that Daylight Writers did an excellent job of showing you all of this, what's coming. Entombed, I awaited for the day. Entombed where? In the abyss. The dark night rises. The day of your technology might allow my return. That wait is nearly over. This is all in like a kid's game or something. But they show you the truth cryptically. They show the truth everywhere in movies, just like God shows his truth in his Bible cryptically. Why cryptically? Well, every Batman villain, since Batman is the Dark Knight, the Antichrist, the villains are all characteristics of God. That's what the Riddler is. Riddler, for instance, spoke in riddles. Jesus spoke in parables. They're just making fun. Joker, all of them. Mr. Freeze, I've got my own theory on what that is. I cannot find the video who told me that. That was that video. Y'all, I've come across so much stuff, and I just absorb it so quickly. The Lord has just allowed me to. I am no longer she who lies in wait. I am the mother of wisdom. That's the divine. I've got a book on the divine feminine. That's Sophia. She is the goddess of wisdom. I am the nexus of flesh and machine. I am Juno. And if the greatest assassin of your generation can see things my way, then perhaps you can too. NASA. That's a snake tongue. There's a football player giving you the divine feminine. They're all in the system. That's why you got, Tom Hanks, he's got the virus, then it's this athlete's got this NBA player. They get in the system. And that's all I can tell you. I'm not going to tell you any more than that. There's your obelisk. That's the lost penis of Osiris. Lost penis of Osiris. Click images. That's what you get. You get the obelisk. You get the obelisk. I just Googled lost penis of Osiris. I didn't even say obelisk. And that's what you get, folks. That's your Washington Monument. Who runs this world? America, the New Atlantis. The New Atlantis. The New Atlantis is an incomplete utopia novel by Sir Francis Bacon, who also helped finalize the King James Bible. Sir Francis Bacon, of course, he's not a good person. That's what America's always been, is the New Atlantis. It was put here for that. The people told the truth of the Bible, like I'm telling you, about predestination and election. Christmas was not allowed in this country until the mid-1800s. In the 1600s and 1700s, the truth was taught in all the churches that God doesn't love everybody. He only loves the sheep. And Rome, Maryland became, what's on top of the Capitol? The goddess on top of the Capitol.
According to architect of the Capitol, statue...
That's what's on top of the Capitol. It's the Mother Goddess. The Statue of Liberty. Now, I'm not even going to talk about the reason why the Statue of Liberty has a man's face, but is a woman. But I think you know the liberal movement that's being pushed in this world. That's why Lucifer, the Baphomet, has boobs. The Baphomet... man and woman. See the boobs? He's androgynous. Oh, what was his name? I don't think Prince is really dead. I know Kobe Bryant's not really dead. They're safely tucked away somewhere. It's all ritual events. David Bowie, androgyny. That's what he was. They were already pushing androgyny, mixing male and female from the beginning. Lady Gaga, androgyny. That's what it all is. Girls looking like boys, boys looking like girls. I mean, they shape your world. You're like, well, Trump's not him. Trump's a deep state. Trump's a... Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Illuminati card game. It's been him all along. I loved him. I used to really love Donald Trump. Just as a celebrity. I mean... Ariana Grande, God is a woman. That's the yoni she's giving you. When you Google yoni, that's another symbol of the yoni. That's another symbol of the yoni. What does ESPN give you? The yoni. Universe. Yep. I mean, that's what it all is. What was this video even going to be about? Wasn't I supposed to tell you about the coronavirus? Super Bowl. That's a chalice. And the twins. That's a chalice. See the cup? It's the Holy Grail. All of this is about Trump. Remember his mom's name is Marianne McLeod? What movie is that? Sean Connery. Boom, bum, boom, bum, boom, bum, boom, bum. Sean Connery movie about McLeod. Highlander. Highlanders, Scottish. Scottish Highlanders. Guess where Donald Trump's from? Didn't we just say that his mom's name was McLeod? Didn't I show you that earlier? You might have to watch this 5 or 6 times. Oh, this isn't the right one. Let's just go down and find Highlander from Sean Connery so we know we got the right one. Oh, that was it. Connor McLeod, main character. I mean, that's about Trump's family, Highlander. That's what it's all about. And it talked about how he was a king and that the people would hate him. It's just, everything is so planned out, people. Trump Tower, Little Horn of Daniel 7 Bible verses. He's the Little Horn of Daniel 7. He's the rider on the white horse who's going to go forth conquering and to conquer. And when he had all his generals, Trump generals calm before the storm. What did President Trump mean? He's standing with all of his generals. Could it be the calm before the storm? Standing with his generals. Standing with his generals. Trump during photo shoot talks of calm before the storm. The coming storm. Donnie Darko movie speaks of the coming storm. So many movies speak of the coming storm. in Batman, The Dark Knight Rises, there's a storm coming, Mr. Wayne. Remember when she says that in that movie? There's a storm coming, Mr. Wayne. Y'all, the coming storm is the four horses of the apocalypse: war, famine, death. You can't prepare yourself for this. Only spiritually can you prepare yourself for this. Only if you're a sheep. If you live, they have to collapse the whole world, and they in order to bring in their one world under Lucifer. And Trump will have the spirit of Antichrist uploaded into him, more than likely through that ghost in the machine. There could be Trump could be cloned. You don't understand about cloning. They're way ahead of everything with computers and cloning and androids and everything. Remember that guy that can put needles through his arm? Magician that can put needles through his arm.
Harry Anderson. According to Wikipedia, needle through arm is a magic illusion that was created by Bruce Spangler and later popularized by comedy actor, magician Harry Anderson.
Ricky Gervais. David Blaine. David Blaine, needle through arm.
According to Wikipedia, although the trick popularized by Anderson,
he takes this and he sticks it. He's sitting right there and he pokes it right through his arm. David Blaine does all kind of stuff to himself right there in front of the camera. I'm not 1,000% sure what's going on here, but I watched a dude eat glass one time and his eyes turned into serpent eyes. So, and I've studied this and watched videos on this, that real magic is from demons, but this could also be android. I've also seen where this could be android type stuff. So, but that's kind of going off out there on left field, so I don't mean to do that to y'all. I mean, I'm learning new stuff every day. I just can't. CIA fear. The function of the CIA is to keep the world unstable and propagandize and teach America people to hate and fear. That's what they do. They do it through TV. This A11.3, this is when the election is. A lot of people say this means Antichrist. 11.3, that's the election day when Trump will be reelected. A11.3. And I'm not going to get into the code of 11.3. See a lot of newscasters and sports people stand with their hands like this a lot. That goes back to the Egyptian gods and goddesses. So, the European Parliament is designed right after, with upside down pyramids, mind you. It's an unfinished Tower of Babel. What do you think the Stairway to Heaven was? It's a lady who knows. That's the mother goddess, the lady. Mystery Babylon. Trump's hand signal, the return of the divine feminine. Just Google the divine feminine and you'll get to the pictures, the hand signals. It's Trump's tower, it's all gold. There's Trump with a 666 hand signal that he speaks with constantly. There's Trump's hairdo, again with his hand signal. So what's really going on? I don't know what's going on. I can tell you don't trust it. I can tell you have nothing to do with it. I can tell you come out of the world. I can tell you if I get framed and thrown in jail, come bail me out, because they set me up. Biff is Trump. There's his gold, there's his money. Here's Biff. There's that 8-pointed star, which, oh, that symbolism, I forget what that meant, but it's very, it's in a lot of stuff. Here's their hand signals. That's its SEC network. And you wonder how they get away with this. And you hear about, oh, so-and-so's got the corona. It'll be somebody in the system. Folks, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how much longer they're going to let me live because I exposed this stuff. I'm the only person that knows all this stuff. I'm the only person that knows. I don't know why God chose me to show the world this stuff, or people, or my friends. But the Lord snatched me out of the world, and He took me, and He put my nose right in it. See this Trump Plaza? That's what they mean by Biff. See, and then on the other one, it's... I mean, that's what Back to the Future 2 was about. Oh, and Back to the Future 2, he says, you're fired, you're fired. I mean, it's just, Back to the Future 2, you're fired.
Here's a matching video.
Right there. Marty McFly, you're fired. And then you're fired comes out of these copy machines. It says, you're fired, you're fired. See if you can see this video right there. Is it counting down? Is it moving? No, it's not showing you the whole thing. And I don't want to play anything because I don't want to get a copyright strike. Because demons are what runs YouTube and all that. They'll just flag it. And I've made this video for y'all, and they'll just shut it down. They do it all the time to people. Images, you're fired. Back to the Future 2. You're fired. These papers start rolling off. It says you're fired. You're fired. Way before Donald Trump came out with his TV show, you're fired. I mean, folks, they've been showing you and telling you, and you're like, well, try everything's a coincidence. Folks, if all you're going to say is everything's a coincidence, then the Lord didn't open you up. You don't have any truth. He's not going to, it's not your fault. He's just not giving you His truth. There's Doc from Back to the Future. Doc from Back to the Future is exactly like the guy from Metropolis. Right? Didn't we show you that? I feel like I haven't. Remember this one? How cute. The end is near, and they're just laughing at you. Lock her up. They got you. Good grief. And folks, if the Lord didn't call me out of it, I'd be knee deep in it. I was the worst. There he is. There's Doc. Notice his hair. Look at his hair. The exact same as the guy, the scientist from Metropolis. Same. Same hair. Same hair. 1927 to the mid-80s. Ghost in the Machine album. I owned it. Ghost in the Machine album 666. Here's another Police album. Notice the pyramid. Police just simply meant police state. Machine hidden 666 on the cover because when you hold it upside down and reverse it, it's 666 or something like that. I don't know. But we've covered a lot. I don't even know if I covered what I was going to tell y'all. The virus, I don't know if it's real. I don't know if they're just showing you how easily they can shut everything down just by their propaganda. Just by their news that they own and they run. There's one thing that I can show y'all. I can send it to you. Just message me. where they're all saying the same thing on every single local news channel, and I don't care if it's Fox, ABC, NBC. They go, Mike Myers says, "Yeah, baby," and then they'll show you Fox local affiliate. Mike Myers says, "Yeah, baby," and it's funny to show how they all say the same thing, and they're all Fox, ABC, NBC, CBS local affiliates. All your news is scripted. Now, does that mean if somebody's killed, murdered in Tampa, did it really happen? Well, yeah. But sometimes they might kill somebody, make it look like a suicide. It wasn't a suicide. Just trust me, I'm never going to commit suicide. If they lock me up and you come to bail me out and they say I don't want to come out, that's a lie. I figured if they did arrest me and frame me with something, they would kill me right in there and say that I killed myself. So, I don't know. I just kind of feel like I'm not long for this world, and I don't want to be around for what's coming. But I'm not going to kill myself. I am Batman. Now, when you say that, when you see him say that, it's very playful. But they tell you the truth in everything. But it's cryptic, and you have to have eyes to see. Anyway, Daylight Writers. We'll close with that on YouTube. Create your own YouTube account. You don't have to create videos, but at least you can then like videos, and then you can go back and watch all of your liked videos. Gaia, the mother brain, will tell you about the mother goddess. The return of the goddess in the last days. There you see like Mary right there. Sirius, the truth behind the Gaia Pride Rainbow. Sirius is the dog star. That's why I have Sirius satellite radio. Sirius is the dog star. They worship that star. They love that star. Venus, Isis, Mary, Gaia, Sophia, it's all the same. It's the mother goddess. It's Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of all harlots. How Lucifer gives kings their thrones, excellent. The one world religion and the goddess, excellent. Shakia exposed, satanic deception revealed. I need to watch that one. Of course, she was in the halftime show. The QAnon, the ISIS connection, he really breaks that down good. Trump's fake computer QAnon, like they're getting to this deep state. That's farcical. Kali, the sorceress. There's Hinduism, which is what yoga's about. Again, the mother goddess. Exposing Sophia, the serpent, Gnosis, and occultic societies. Saving the princess, dragon. Anyway, so on and so forth. So, Daylight Writers. It's a great site. I'm probably 2 hours long, aren't I? This thing will take forever to upload. It's 2 hours, hour and 59 minutes. Well, I feel like I haven't shown you what I wanted to show you. Do you now know who Donald Trump is? Do you now know what's coming? I would say by 2022, 2023, you'll have your Mark of the Beast, and we will have gone through our world wars. Or at least they will have begun by then. I've got my reasons for believing it's take place in those years, but I could be wrong. It could be all beginning now. I mean, they could blame this coronavirus on China or this or that because my friend Joey, I'm not going to say his name, sorry. Let's just say that somebody shared with me, back to that thing, Little Horn, blah, 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 Trump's penthouse, yeah. She'll probably unfriend me. God, I get unfriended so often. And I block people too. I mean, I block people all the time if they come on and I can just tell that they have no clue and they just get hateful. I just block them. Ain't nobody got time for that, as they say. Get your body in sync with 30% off. Yeah. They still send me stuff. I gotta definitely block that. What is it I'm looking for? Here's my friend's comments. Would love to chat with you on the phone this weekend. Okay, so you can see that. I'm busy now, but of course, any of your thoughts for Saturday, perhaps? My voice texting meant to say penny for your thoughts. This is what he said. Bioweapons sold by... Oh, because my friend that sent me this follows the wrong stuff. And he's just been handed over to it. And I doubt there's anything I'm going to say or do to get him out of it. I might send him this video, but I'm telling you, this person is very strong in their beliefs. And he's actually the person that showed me the Know Your Enemy series that started getting me out of the world back in 2012. So I always feel like I should help him because, you know, I love him, man. He's an old roommate, you know. Anyway, he says, bioweapons sold by Obama 2015 to China, released by China in China to thin their male population, stop protester in Hong Kong, and to attack America for winning trade war. Wash your hands. It's going to be a long ride. Well, what trade war? They're all in cahoots together. There is no trade war. Everything is controlled by the ghost in the machine that writes the script per what God has ordained. All these countries work together. They show you that too cryptically in James Bond movies. But they're all on the same squad. They're all about the Mother Goddess. Islam. Anytime you have these terrorist attacks, there's a thing called Pallywood. Anyway, I told you about Sophia, the Mother Goddess, creating our God of the Bible, and that he screwed everything up, and that she's going to come fix it. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to usher in the Mother Goddess, and she's going to come fix this earth. And I read that stuff to you, that she's, when the world is ready to accept her and all that. Gaia, the mother brain and all that. But what was I talking about before that? I've already lost track. What was I talking about? I was going to do a search for you. I was going to do a search. What was I talking about? My brain's gone spaghetti. Oh, how the countries are all linked together. That was one thing I was going to show you. I don't remember. Let's just call it a day. What do you say? Let's call it a day. All right, send me any questions that you got. I would ask you not to share it with anybody. You might be tempted to. I don't know. I was pretty vanilla. You can go ahead and share it, I guess. I might even put this on my Facebook if I think it's pretty safe, not to upset the locals that run everything around us and would seek my demise. And I don't worry about my demise. I worry about getting framed and locked up. That's what I worry about, because they can frame you quick. It's pretty easy to do. Let me pause it for a second, see if I can think of anything else to show you. This one here, in the Antichrist But in his estate he shall honor the God of fortresses, a God which his fathers did not know. And you know, in Trump's penthouse, there's those paintings of those gods up on those chariots. And that's his estate. So I don't know enough about it to help me help you with it. Anyway, I showed y'all Mike Pompeo building that third temple. Well, going over there about concerning the third temple. 2 Thessalonians 2:4, so that he sits in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. They're building that temple. He's making Israel great again. There's the new coin. There's Trump on the new coin in Israel. He's making Israel great again, which is Sodom and Egypt, where our Lord was crucified. It's spiritually Sodom and Egypt in the last days, and we're in the last days. There's a picture of the temple with the coin. This is all Israeli stuff that's done. The coin, the temple coin it's called. Trump Heights. Whoops.
Here's a summary from Wikipedia. Trump Heights is a planned Israeli settlement.
Golan Heights. I've heard of the Golan Heights all my life over there in Israel. Israel unveils Trump Heights settlement. They're naming it Trump Heights. Don't you see what's going on, folks? Corona and a crown was given. I mean, he's the little horn of Daniel 7. A horn is a trump, and a trump is a horn. An analogy would be let's say his last name was Missile, and the Bible said the little rocket. A rocket is a missile is a rocket. A trump is a horn. At the last trump, the King James Bible says, referring to the last horn that is blown. So, yeah. I'm pausing now that I'm not worried about it going off, because if it goes off, then it just ended and I didn't get to say goodbye. I love you. But I'm going over things that I had scripted, to show you. I'm going through them to make sure there's anything else I need to show you. So let me pause it again. Here's another good one. I just heard this tonight. Remember that movie Metropolis from 1927 with that robot and all that? What does Metropolis mean? It means mother. The mother, the founding polis city-state, it's referred to as a mother. This is the mother goddess. This is mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of all harlotry, from the book of Revelation. Satanic meaning of the movie Metropolis. Illuminati symbolism in Metropolis film, Illuminati Watcher. Illuminati symbolism, posted by Isaac Weishaupt in June 9th, 2015. Fritz Lang did it. The plot of Metropolis. I've watched this movie a few times. It's so creepy. There's Molech, straight out of the Bible. The Machine they worked at. Welcome to the Machine, Pink Floyd. When they redid this movie in Blu-ray, they played Welcome to the Machine. Here's the hidden hand. There they are. All is missing is a soul when he created the robot. There was Doc from Back to the Future in 1927. She does a dance. The Scarlet Whore of Babylon, it says. There's riding the beast, the woman riding the beast. She's got the fire. Super Bowl halftime show, Beyonce. I showed you that. There's it coming alive. There she is. One eye symbolism back in 1927. The woman that rides the beast right there in the movie Metropolis. Silent movie. Halftime show. They do so many rituals. There's that thing from Biff. Remember the ashtray? What is that? The 8-pointed star, Ishtar. Wow. And in the movie Eyes Wide Shut, that's right. There it is. It's the Ishtar, the star of Venus. Remember the Biff ashtray I showed y'all earlier? Man, this thing is good, is it not? Lady Gaga is good. Man, folks, if y'all watch this, people get a hold of this, man. There's certain people gonna want me killed, man. I'm just telling you. I'm gonna put it on my Facebook anyway. I'm very careful something doesn't pop up while I scroll, so as not to get me in too much trouble. Anyway, that's it. 2 hours, 12 minutes. I love y'all.